is very just subjective to the individual person. You start getting into more structure when you start moving up from there. So a Legionnaire has the opportunity, like many of you have had or have, to apply to the Officers Academy. The Officers Academy is the first academy. It is the one that is directly tied to advancement in SKL, at least up into the Swarm Lord rank. And how you do that is you apply in officer structure or in the role in the academy sign-up channel. And once you do that, you get your Broodlord rank. We get, and I'll get to how Abathur's and the academy head functions later. But just as a broad guess, we get about, I would say, 10 to 20 new Broodlord applicants a month. I say yes to most of them. The ones that do not apply are the people that seem overly meme-ish. I don't really care about people not being too serious about it. We would prefer at least people that apply for an officer role to have, a mild level of seriousness. You all know that I don't really care if you joke around or whatever, but if someone says, I want to lead cause lols in their application, then we're not going to, give them the Broodlord rank. So with a Broodlord, and most of you all know this who have been Broodlords in the past, but our expectations of Broodlords are to function within SKL in a way that is good for you. Broodlords, we have more expectations than Legionnaires, but we do not have hard expectations. Everyone has their real life. Everyone has other games they play. The Broodlord rank is literally intended to dip your toes into how the ranks and the officers act. So some Broodlords will join. They'll be pretty active for a little while, and then they kind of go on hiatus. They might come back. They might not. It's no big deal either way. Some of them, like many of you who are Swarm Lords or above, get a taste for it, and you kind of give an idea of how we operate within SKL. You learn that you enjoy the way that we operate, the community that we have, and stuff like that, and we move on to the next and the newest rank, which is Hive Lord. And Hive Lords exist basically as an interim between Broodlords and Swarm Lords. Again, I'll go over more details when we get higher, but a lot of these I assume people know. But Hive Lords are basically the interim between Broodlords and Swarm Lords. Many people will get to Hive Lord and stay there, because there is a pretty large gap between Broodlord and Swarm Lord that we filled with the Hive Lord. But the Hive Lord is a rank in SKL that is the stopping point learning rank. Once you get to Hive Lord, you have access to the full armory, as long as you're using your armory assets within reason and with the approval of someone in High Command or above. And we'll go over the commands in a bit. And they are given pretty broad discretionary powers to kind of lead platoons as they want, run things as they want. It's basically the rank where we take the training wheels off. You're not a fully fledged, trusted, you're a part of any kind of big command kind of officer when you're a Hive Lord, but you are, the training wheels are off. We want to see you exist for a while. Run some trainings if you want, lead platoons if you want, do some construction, just kind of chit chat on the Discord. We basically just set you loose and we see what you want to do. And based on what you do or what you don't do is kind of where you move forward when you hit Swarm Lord, if you hit Swarm Lord. So we're going to move on to Swarm Lord briefly, and we can touch on any of these in the Q&A, but I just kind of want to go through the ranks. Swarm Lord is when the commands start to matter. Now, Broodlords and Hive Lords and some other people in like outfit reps and other outfits are in what we call outfit command. So if you all scroll down from Legion Leadership, there's a tab called Leadership, the Leadership tab, where right under PL Quick Resources, there is a tab called Outfit Command. Outfit Command is, some would argue, a tad redundant because most of the people in Outfit Command are also in Officer General, but Outfit Command also has leaders from other outfits in it. And it's just basically, if there's anything that people like of the Broodlords or the Hive Lord persuasion want to talk about that is like a command level thing, be it an event, be it, talking about like the message of the day, stuff that is relevant to people in the command structure, which again is just only officers, and officers are people of Broodlord and above, just broad level officers are in Outfit Command. Above Outfit Command is what we call High Command, and you enter High Command by attaining the Swarm Lord rank. The Swarm Lords are basically the pillars of the community. They're the tent poles, the highest rank that many people within SKL will get and stay at. It's the first rank to where you made it. You are, other than maybe voluntary entrance into advanced programs in the future, you are out of the training process entirely. Once you hit Swarm Lord, you are trusted within SKL to act on your own. You're not really given any admin privileges in the Discord per se, but you are, one, expected to represent SKL as a representative in platoons, in other platoons, on the Discord, and other Discords. Once you hit Swarm Lord, there are some expectations placed upon your head that you are expected to represent SKL. You're expected to help out with one of the academies. So the day in the life of a Swarm Lord would look something analogous to this. Is you check the Discord every now and then. For Swarm Lords, there is a channel that many of you all cannot see directly below Outfit Command called High Command, and people of Swarm Lord and above can talk in there. If it's something that is sensitive information or some event that we're planning that we don't necessarily want to go down into the training ranks that are not necessarily, for lack of a better word, trusted 100% to keep the secret or to keep the lid on any big events that we're working on that we want to be a nice surprise or something like that, we usually discuss those in High Command. And we don't talk in High Command a ton, but that's usually where sensitive information is kept. It doesn't usually go below High Command. So a Swarm Lord would check High Command. A Swarm Lord, when they attained the rank, would have pitched into one of the academies. So, for instance, a couple of our newer Swarm Lords are in here. Mai, when he became Swarm Lord, he went to help as one of the instructors for the Infantry Academy. That's what he's doing right now. Kura, one of our more recent Swarm Lords, she's on the Armor Academy team and is helping out with the formation of the Armor Academy. So, those are just a couple examples. Hittermitter, he made a Swarm Lord several months ago now, and he's one of the primary Officer Academy mentors. So like Swarm Lords are the rank that once you hit it, you have a job. Like, it's not a hard job, and everything that we expect of all of the people in SKL, be it a Legionnaire and all the way up to Uber or Sokaar himself, is all volunteer work. We don't expect anyone to break their backs doing any of this stuff. One of the reasons that SKL functions as well as we do is that we delegate a lot of tasks. We try not to put any one thing on any one person. People take on what they can take on, and what they can't take on, other people will handle, or will let some things drop for a little while to focus on more important things in the moment. It's just a machine that kind of keeps turning, keeps adapting to circumstance. And so Swarm Lords help out with their academies. So if Mai's logging on, checks High Command, nothing's in there, checks the Infantry Academy channels, nothing needed there, doesn't have to do a training today. A Swarm Lord is basically just expected to check the Discord, be involved with what they're involved with, and if they log on in-game, and this is one of the more nebulous things about High Command and above that I wanted to discuss during this meeting. Swarm Lords and above have this unspoken expectation of them that I think we all feel it internally, but it's also kind of an outward thing to where we're kind of expected to be, noticed, noticeable. We help out in platoons, even if you're not leading a squad or leading a platoon or running a router. You're usually expected to kind of be like a good positive force within your platoon. I know for my part, I join plenty of your platoons. Most people say hi to me, like over 9 will say hi, hey Prozan, or something like that. And like I talk, sometimes I give direction, I answer questions and stuff like that. And that kind of expectation of how to act and how to like represent SKL within the platoons kind of starts at Swarm Lord. Like your name is recognized at most when you start appearing as a Swarm Lord and above. I'm not saying that Brood Lords and Hive Lords are not recognizable. I'm just saying this is kind of the expectation that you are a positive force in your platoons. You're kind of setting an example. It's a good idea to set an example for the Legionnaires, the Broods, the Hives, to say, just because you're not platoon leader, just because you're not squad lead, doesn't mean you can't help. You can't be like, if you're just a vocal member of a platoon that's kind of helping direct things, offering information, not clogging up the comms, making sure that you respect comm discipline whenever the platoon lead calls for clear comms, even if they're lower ranked than you. All that stuff is setting a very important example for the lower ranks, and kind of setting a benchmark for everyone. So all of that kind of boils into the day in the life of a Swarm Lord. Of course, you don't have to be in planet side at all any given day. This is just an active day for these ranks, I should say. Y'all just need to remember, we're all volunteers. We're all officers of varying levels in a clan in a video game. So like, while we do want to take it like a certain amount of seriousness, we don't want to go too far with it. We don't have any kind of at no levels of command do we have any kind of like status quo that we have to. We don't have to clock in once a week to make sure that we got our 8 hours in on planet side. Like, no one in elite command or high command is like that. We want people to be active, but we want people to be active on their own pace. I will go ahead and pause here. Does anyone have any questions regarding Swarm Lords or High Command before I move upward? I need to check. No mic. Okay, no. Or if anyone has any questions about Legionnaire, Brood Lords, Hive Lords, we can go ahead and pause here. Otherwise, I'll move on to Abathur. I see. Go ahead.
I was gonna vocally speak one out. How long is someone expected to remain in Hive Lord? Could it be indefinitely based on their level of training or whatever needed?
Yeah, it's a hard thing to describe, because I don't like telling people you're where you need to be. It's especially if they feel like they can progress. Anyone can be a Cerebrate one day. I believe that. I just feel that as far as the Hive Lords are concerned, we want to be very clear that the Hive Lord to Swarm Lord jump is not a roadblock. Like, Brood Lord to Hive Lord, it's like Brood Lords just need to prove a certain amount of dedication to SKL, a certain amount of familiarity with the armory, and a certain amount of the ability to talk to another human being in a respectful way. Those are pretty low bars, right? You can jump that hurdle pretty quickly in a relative time span to go from Brood Lord to Hive Lord. Hive Lord to Swarm Lord is the Grand Canyon. It is an indeterminable jump that we somehow have to determine. It is the difference between going from a fairly trusted training level officer that we all like, that we all think is doing great, to someone that we don't need to look at anymore. That once you hit Swarm Lord, you're someone that we just expect to represent SKL at the highest level. You are someone who is a force in the community. You're someone that everyone recognizes, that everyone likes, yada, yada, yada. And it's hard to gauge that kind of stuff. Like, but on top of the fact that we expect Swarm Lords to be fairly competent squad and platoon leads. So, not even competent, but like exceptional squad and platoon leads. It's just, we have to take two sides of that coin, to where it's like someone who has proven themselves as a competent, exceptional squad and platoon lead, and someone who encapsulates all those things that I've been talking about for the past 5 or 10 minutes, where they represent SKL. They're completely trusted to just act on their own, to help out with the academies, yada, yada, yada. So, like, it is a very frustrating gap, and I know a lot of the Brood Lords have been frustrated in the past when they haven't gotten the Swarm Lord promotion, or they feel like they don't know exactly where they are in regards to when they get Swarm Lord or not. And I understand that completely. I share that frustration, because each individual person is at a different level towards some nebulous goal that it's very hard for us to determine. But that's our job, is we have to figure out. We just have to look at someone and say, is this person ready for Swarm Lord? Is this person completely trusted? Do we feel like this person leads Swarm Lord level platoons and squads? Do we feel like this person, when they get Swarm Lord, will feel like they are representing SKL in a way that we want from a Swarm Lord? I guess regarding this, Burrito has a question. To get Swarm Lord ranked, do you have to be a part of an academy, or is it extremely encouraged? You have to be Swarm Lord. You have to be in the Officer Academy to get Swarm Lord. I'm not saying there aren't special occasions for this. I think about 7-8 months ago, we gave Calamity the Swarm Lord rank just because of his service in Hunter Killers. We kind of breveted that, gave him credits towards Swarm Lord. But there are exceptional cases, Burrito, but 99 times out of 100, someone who gets Swarm Lord got it through the Officer Academy.
I believe Burrito means as an instructor, not as a part of an academy. So I, as a Brood Lord, was helping out on the Officers Academy originally.
Yeah, we do. A lot of it's more nebulous. We have a hard requirement. Once you hit Swarm Lord, if you're not already helping out with an academy, you have to help out with an academy. But you can dip your toes into that as a Brood Lord, and I'm not telling any of you that you have to do this, but it is good extra credit towards Swarm Lord. If you help out with one of the academies, if you reach out to one of the heads or the teams in one of the academies and actively help them out, and they report to me that the work you're doing is good and that you're actually participating and yada yada yada, that is basically like extra credit. And I don't even know if I would say extra credit. It's just more indicators that you are getting more and more ready for Swarm Lord, because you're already doing and getting prepared for things that Swarm Lords already do. Yeah, and like Game says, remember to breathe. All right, so let's go ahead and go a little higher up the food chain, assuming no one has any other questions. And you're free to talk in voice. I'll give one more question. Does anyone have any last questions regarding Brood Lord, Hive Lord, or Swarm Lord? Nope, we're good. All right, moving up on to Abathur. So, Abathurs are the first admin ranks. Like I said, not everyone who is an academy staff or the head of an academy will be an Abathur, but it's a good indicator. Poncho, you weren't an Abathur when you helped found the infantry academy, yes?
Swarm Lord.
Yeah. So people that are a Brood Lord who is doing good work with let's just say the infantry academy, they get Swarm Lord. They formalize their participation in the infantry academy. We're just using this as an example. Well, I'll go ahead and just keep using Mamai as an example. I believe he started out as an instructor as a Brood Lord and then became a Swarm Lord and just kind of stayed on in the Infantry Academy formally as a Swarm Lord. As long as Mamai keeps participating in the Infantry Academy, maybe joins the staff, maybe someday, who knows, 4 or 5 months from now, 2 of the heads might go on hiatus. Maybe Mamai becomes one of the heads. He will become an Abathur. It's just kind of like a growing thing to where you do a job, you do it for long enough, you'll get the promotion. And Abathurs, in broad strokes, are just the moderators of SKL. The biggest difference between an Abathur and a Swarm Lord is that Abathurs are mods on the Discord server. Swarm Lords have no real expectations of managing anything in the Discord server. Abathurs deal with tickets. We have a ticket system. If you guys scroll up to reporting/resolving issues, that tab, there's a submit report thing. You don't react to that because it's going to create a ticket, but if you react to that, it will create a ticket that is completely confidential. Only people of Abathur and above can see it, and we basically process the occasional ticket that is team killing in nature, someone saying something against the code of conduct in platoon chats or outfit say, or this or that or this or that. Abathurs deal with that. Abathurs deal with roles on the Discord. So a lot of you who get your Legionnaire, your Brood Lord, or whatever role, an Abathur did that, or someone with Abathur perms. We create channels on the Discord. We create voice channels on the Discord. We set the permissions so that people can see all the stuff. We have direct access to some moderation channels that kind of let us see who posted what who got banned, who left the server, yada yada, just moderator type information. And Abathurs and above have access to Elite Command. So in the leadership channel, there's PL Quick Resources, there's Outfit Command, there's High Command, and then there's Elite Command. Elite Command is the highest level of command on the Discord. Abathurs, Cerebrates, and Outfit Leaders have access to Elite Command. And Elite Command is the channel where the highest level of conversations are had in SKL. It's usually when we are talking about massive events. Just to use an example, the last big Elite Command meeting we had was we discussed the fundraiser goals for Extra Life. We set the milestones there. We had a big long conversation of what milestones we could do, what milestones we could set, what milestones we could achieve, and then we talked about how we would do it once we actually hit a lot of those milestones. So like Elite Command is where a lot of the highest level decisions are made. Sometimes High Command is included with some of these meetings. Sometimes they're not. It really just depends on how sensitive the material is. But it is expected that once you have hit the level of command that is Elite Command, that you are the most trusted members of SKL. If your name is some shade of purple, be it Abathur or Cerebrate or Outfit Leader, you are amongst the most trusted members of SKL. You are expected to represent the outfit, to be authority figures, to make command decisions when they're required. It's a lot. It can be a lot of extra work, which is why there's a good chunk of us. Not as many as we probably would like, but we have a lot of them on hiatus and a lot not. But that's kind of like how SKL functions at all levels of command. We get a lot of people go. We get a lot of people come. Some of you in this call right now will be in Abathur in a couple months. Some of the Abathurs or Cerebrates will be on hiatus in a couple of months. And then 6 months from then, some of you might be Cerebrates. More of you will be Abathurs. I might be on hiatus. But the point of it is that the machine at all levels just keeps moving. There's no such thing as a dead fit here. People go up and out, and then they recycle back in and find a new job or go back to their old job, up and out. For instance, one of the Cerebrates, Tayashi, he's the founder of the Academy system. Back when I was a Brood Lord, Academy and Avakadu, or Tayashi and Avakadu, last December-ish, thought up the Academy system, and they started to implement it, started to write a lot in the background. Neither of them are active right now. Both of them are on leave of absence. Tayashi is on the return, but my example there is that the people who thought up the academies aren't even around right now, and yet the academies are going. The academies have been going. They will keep going, and that is just one of the many examples of how SKL just kind of continues to operate. So, to summarize, an Abathur is the first rank within SKL that has like legitimate, hard responsibilities in regards to being a leader, not just in game, but also on the Discord. We're expected to be authority figures, voices of reason. We moderate the Discord. We make sure everything's within code of conduct. You'll notice that a lot of people that get promotions lose the previous rank. We're all Legionnaires. We all keep Legionnaire. But most of the Swarm Lords, unless we miss some of them, are not also Hive Lords and not also Brood Lords. But if you click on, say, my name over on the right, I am a Cerebrate. I am also an Abathur. Abathur is once you hit Abathur, you're an Abathur forever. So Abathurs and Cerebrates and the outfit leads can all see Abathur pings. We are all Abathurs, meaning that we are all moderators. That's the best way to look at it. The Abathurs are the moderators of the Discord, the moderators of SKL. A lot of the time, if you see promotions going out in-game, it's from someone who has the Abathur rank doing it. We are not the middlemen, we're the managers, the directors, whatever you want to call it. That's what Abathurs are. I believe I've caught everything from Elite Command that is relevant. What Abathurs do, that's more or less the day in the life of an Abathur. Games is in the call. Osher Rules is his name, but is usually called Games Rules. His job, for lack of a better word, is literally just, he does the purge. I assume enough of you have been around for the purge, but Games' role as an Abathur is literally, actually he's not in the call anymore, but he was. Games' role as an Abathur is that he just, every couple months, he goes through the entire 5,000 plus people in SKL and he kicks the people that have been inactive for, I forget what it is, 3 or 4 months. He does a big warning in OSN, he makes sure everyone's aware that it's coming, and then he does it. And if any of you have tried to scroll through the offline list for SKL, you would know that it is something that is not an easy feat. He has to sort by inactivity, and he has to go through that herky-jerky list that can barely handle it because it's not meant to be that big. But that's literally just what Games does. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't do like some occasional moderator stuff or whatever, but that is what he does. Is he purges the outfit of inactive people every couple of months, and we have a lot of Abathurs that fill a lot of roles like that. Most of the heads of academies are Abathurs or will be Abathurs after they've gotten their feet under them and kind of go for a while. People in most managerial roles within SKL are Abathurs or will be Abathurs at some point. So I believe I've covered Abathurs as concisely as I can. Does anyone have any questions regarding the Abathur rank? You can either just talk in voice or bring it up in no mic.
So when you ping an Abathur, by extension is also pinging everyone above Abathur.
Yes, exactly, yes. Cerebrates are Abathurs, outfit leaders are Abathurs, we're all Abathurs, to where if I pinged all the Brood Lords, it would not ping all the Swarm Lords or the Hive Lords. It's kind of just like a cultural thing. We're all Legionnaires, so if someone pinged the Legionnaire role, it would effectively be an everyone role except for people that are not in the outfit. We're all Legionnaires at our base, which I think is a nice little gesture. We're all Legionnaires together, and building on top of that is whatever your current rank is. And the only other rank that will stick is whenever you hit Abathur. That will stick no matter how high up you go. Any other questions or comments? I see Horace typing. Yeah, just don't actually ping Legionnaire. Deadly, I saw your mic flare up. Did you have a question?
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So just to add on top of that, for a few of us, we decide to maintain some of the roles, and goes for mostly the people that are active in the academies, just so we can keep track of everything that's going on. So if you are a part of the Officer Academy, for example, you may want to keep that Brood Lord rank just so you can catch on to any trainings or anything else that's going on the lower level. So that's why a few of us will maintain those ranks, but technically wouldn't need to.
Yeah. If you can request whatever role you like. Like if you click on Orby, he has like every role known to man, just because he likes to get pinged. But as a bog standard, we usually trim your last role, unless it was a Legionnaire or an Abathur, and add in a new one. And I see Deadly's talking. His mic here he's typing, so his mic not be working. But yeah, that's a good thing to add, Orby. You can keep your old rings if you like, but generally we keep it tight. Deadly asks, what are the right and left limits for a Hive Lord or a Brood Lord to warrant demotion? Generally speaking, we don't demote in SKL. I can't recall the last time we demoted someone. Orby, I don't think we've demoted someone this year, correct?
No, I can't even recall any kinds of demotions, to be honest.
Yeah. If we don't demote people. If you're having a bad month or a bad week or a bad day that would warrant any kind of disciplinary issue, we would rather just talk it out and try to figure out what was wrong than even consider demotion. As a broad rule, we do not demote people in SKL. Which is another reason why we're very particular about who gets promoted and when, because we would prefer not to regret it.
Yeah, and just to clarify, that does not mean that we are never going to demote anyone. It's just that anytime a situation comes around, we try our best to just deal with the conflict instead of just taking a brash decision of just a blanket demotion and calling it a day. In SKL, we try our best to deal with the situations instead of dropping the hammer. That's a much better way for us to maintain the community. So.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean you guys can go out there and do something dumb, because you will get demoted, okay? And you're going to be the first one, so...
Yeah, I mean, the few problem people we've had... Who else was talking? Mike?
Definitely not.
Okay. The few problem people we've had in the past usually just get removed or leave on their own accord. We usually just try to work with people, and we've had some people in the past that we've had to just kick from the outfit entirely just because they were so bad that, I mean, it just, we would rather just work with you than demote you, and 9 times out of 10. You would have to be like a very mild level of bad for a long time for us to want to demote you. Otherwise, people usually kind of ratchet things up to the point where they just leave on their own accord, or they get removed rather than demoted. Any other questions regarding the ranks we've discussed right now? Then I will be moving up to Cerebrate. Okie dokie. So, Cerebrates. Cerebrates are... Yeah, I would probably say Abathur is the highest rank that many people could hope to achieve in SKL, but Cerebrate is possible. It's just we do not have very many Cerebrates. I would say that the 2 that we've promoted in the last year have been like probably the highest go around that I've seen. Orby, I think you were the only Cerebrate from last year, correct?
So last year there was a pretty major restructuring
Right.
at SKL, and we did decide to kind of remake the Cerebrate rank, and we had quite a few more people getting up to that rank. On the restructuring, a few people got, left around, and a few people got bumped up to the rank, but it is something that it is aimed to be somewhat of a small rank. We may one day end up having 20 Cerebrates, but these people are kind of a legacy rank for, people that have been around SKL for a long time, people that, deeply care for the community. And it really is just a rank that is not aimed to be inside the chain of promotions. So it's kind of outside the progression system for most people, but it is still attainable. It just requires a lot more from the member to really get to represent SKL on a whole different level for the community in general. So.
Yeah, so like I would say there are such thing as legacy Cerebrates and modern day Cerebrates. Legacy Cerebrates are, and there's legacy people from all of the classes, from Swarmlord and above. They're just people that attained the rank years ago but haven't been around in a while, or have been around very seldomly, to where they don't exactly fit into the current modern structure. But we're just going to talk about the modern structure. Modern day Cerebrates are basically people that are over certain aspects of SKL, like broad, let's say, divisions or departments of SKL. For instance, myself, I am the Cerebrate over Academy Operations. So I, as a Cerebrate, am, and also an Abathur, but my Cerebrate duties involve me making sure the Infantry Academy is doing well, making sure that the Officer Academy is doing well, filling any gaps that need filled, finding people to fill in gaps if I can't fill them myself, making sure all the current academies are doing well, and also to make sure that the teams for the academies that have not launched are getting the tools they need, the intention they need, the guidance they need to form that academy. So myself as a Cerebrate, that is my job. I am over all of the Abathurs and Swarmlords that make up the academy system. So in an operational sense, and Tayashi, who is on leave, is the administrative head of the academies. So his job is basically to kind of be over a lot of the back end stuff. Technically, like the formation of new academies would be under his purview, but because he's on hiatus, that is what I am filling that role as well. And that's just kind of like what I was talking about earlier, to where like when people go, no big deal, just find someone else to fill the slot. I didn't care to do it. I'm already involved with the academies, so I am helping the Armor and the Construction Academy team, get their feet off the ground. Another modern day Cerebrate, Vox Infinitum, He's basically the head of the. It's not really an official department, but he's head of OSN. He's basically the news Cerebrate. He's over the Abathurs and Swarm Lords and below that are a part of the Orbital Strike news team. He does a lot of work in regards to just getting news out there, managing our media, stuff like that.
Head of communications.
Yeah, head of communications type stuff. And Orby is another one of the modern day Cerebrates, where he's basically the Cerebrate who is a community manager. He does a lot of cross promotion with streamers, cross promotion with other outfits, yada yada. He can talk more about his role, but all of the Cerebrates in the modern day are over some kind of department within SKL. Now, Orby, did you want to say anything on your role, or did I get it pretty much spot on?
Yeah, that's mostly it. As Prozan said, like each one of us try to find or basically even create a specific position that we are helping the Legion with, and then we kind of stay in that position and do our best to delegate the work for the people below us on that specific area. As Prozan said, he deals a lot with the officers and the trainings and the academies and stuff. I particularly deal a lot with the community in general. I do a lot of conflict management, just communication in the community, deal with people from outside. You have people like Rage Twisted, which is kind of a competitive guy for events outside of live server and things like Outfit Wars when it was still around. The other people that we have, even if they do not have any particularly specifically designed role for them, they still fill in on that sort of legacy idea that they're the ones that deeply care about the community in a long-term sense. And they're going to be the ones involved in long-term decisions and things that are just going to deeply impact the community in general. So,
yeah. And just to lay all the cards on the table, because this is just supposed to be like the explaining a day in the life or whatever of all these ranks, there is no real level of command where above elite command like Abathur's. There is a little group DM that all the Cerebrates are in where we talk, and Orby will back me up here. We talk in there very rarely, like almost none a month. Like it's usually just if it's something really time sensitive where we can ping everyone in just that group channel, or like just something that is mildly private amongst like just a Uber and a couple of the other Cerebrates. But if you get to Abathur, elite command is the end step. Like the elite command is the highest level of command. Like the Cerebrates do have their own little private chat, but it's mainly just for like private things. It's not a whole nother level of command. Elite command is the highest level of command in the game, or in SKL. So if we say like comes from elite command, we're saying this comes from like the highest level within the SKL hierarchy. And now I believe I've covered everything. I did want to mention that Cerebrates are not like typecasted into their role. I help out with the Officer Academy, like specifically more than other academies, just because that's the one I founded. Orby also is involved with the Officer Academy. We all still lead platoons and yada yada yada. It's not something that we're like, you have to do this or else you're not doing it right. Like we have our jobs and we have our roles, but we also help out where we're needed, just like everyone else in SKL. There's not really any fences put up to stop people from doing any specific thing, as long as it's for the betterment of the community and for the betterment of SKL. Now, before I go on to my last topic, does anyone have any questions regarding Cerebrates, or any questions regarding the other ranks that they didn't think of until now? All right, there's Burrito. And if anyone wants to talk, feel free. This is not a just me talking thing.
I mean, I can if you want.
Well, comments or questions would be appreciated. I'm just trying to be transparent here. Like people want to know how SKL is run at the higher levels of command, and like this is how it is. these are how the ranks work. This is what Elite Command is like. Yeah, go ahead.
So I like how you go to all your members here and share basically how you guys function, and don't try and like hide anything and like say another home, right?
Right.
WSC, we had unfortunately we had a officer Discord, which was completely separate, and what it ended up turning into was just kind of like a closed off audience from the rest of the community.
Yeah.
So on paper you saw something, and then really it was something else.
Yeah, I just don't want people to think that there's in any way any kind of nepotism going on here, or in any way any kind of favoritism or anything like that. Like it's not just a trust thing. Like I'm scrolling through the people in this call, and I trust all of you with SKL's secrets. It's not just a trust thing. Like High Command and Elite Command exists to compartmentalize the efforts of SKL. Like it's not that none of us in Elite Command don't trust any of you if you don't get a promotion. It's not a matter of trust. Like anyone who has been in this outfit for a long enough time, and who we talk to on an almost daily basis, we trust. It's just there's a lot of work that goes into being an Abathur or a Cerebrate. There is a lot of work that goes into being in High Command and Elite Command, and we don't want to force that upon anyone that we don't think is prepared for it. So trust is only a part of it, and I want to be completely transparent when I say that. I don't want anyone here to think that we don't trust you or that we're trying to hide things from anyone. If anyone wants to know what we do in High Command, or what we do in Elite Command, or what we do at the Cerebrate and Outfit Leader level, I will tell you as much as I can without revealing state secrets, but we want everyone to be comfortable. Let's see. Osher says, Osher Burrito says, what does Edwin's role mean? Is he like a failsafe for SKL? Yeah, Edwin is an old legacy Abathur. He's so old that they just gave him a separate rank because he's verbalized that he doesn't want to be a part of the command structure when he comes back. So that's the legacy rank is literally just you did good work in the past. It's like how we still call presidents who are no longer the president anymore Mr. President still. It's just an honorary thing. But anyone who has the legacy rank is just someone who is not an officer, but they were one, and we appreciate the efforts they've put in the past.
Yeah, and to clarify a little bit more into that, SKL has and is, and this is something that hopefully every single one of you understood up to this point, it has been in a constant evolution for the past 2 years at this point. And it's something that turned the outfit into just a group that was centered around a single person and his friends that were running public platoons, into a community with lots of systems and lots of mechanics to make sure we are the best that we can be. And the way it all worked way back then was there wasn't any kind of system. When Sokaar was still around, he would just promote the people he would like. And it was just like that, We had a bunch of Abathurs and Cerebrates at that point that were just people that were Sokaar's friends. And there isn't any merit on that, to the extent of the new system, but that is still what SKL was, and we're not going to just leave that behind, because that is still kind of who we are. So that's why the idea that we push here doesn't exactly fit for every single one that is in the system currently, because we still have some people that are still around that have not been brought up in the same system that we have. And we created this legacy rank to kind of try to fit those people in, because they also don't want the responsibility that we have nowadays, with the outfit being this big and we trying to hold ourselves up to the standards that we have today. So we just gave them another position for them to, maintain the gravitas that they have from way back when, without pushing them into something that they are not going to want to be. So,
right, exactly. All right, so last little roll, we're just going to talk about the outfit leader. or leaders, depending on how you want to perceive it. So the outfit leader, or I think in the game it's called an overmind, right, Orby? The same difference.
Yep.
They're our boss. Uber is our boss. They're the Cerebrate's boss. He's the Abathur's boss. He's your boss. He's my boss. He's whatever. He's the outfit leader or leaders is the face of SKL. They manage things at the highest level. They keep all of us on task. I report to him. Just to be transparent here. As a Cerebrate over Academy operations, I already explained to you all my role. Every month, I either meet with the other academies throughout the month, or I meet with them specifically for this purpose. But by the end of the month, I send Uber a report on how each of the academies is doing from my perspective. I'll meet with all the academies. Just for an example, the Officer Academy. Oh, okay, if they're having some personnel issues, a couple people are on hiatus, we might need a couple more people in the Officer Academy, or we might need to slow down on trainings. Blah 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 blah. Air Academy is doing well. Blah 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 blah. Just little blurbs. I report that to Uber. He reads it. We have a little meeting. We talk it over, and then we either figure out some kind of solution, or we just move on and think and just say everything's fine where it is. And that's more or less what he does with the whole of Elite Command. Something I don't want anyone to think Uber does is he is not the dictator of SKL. I've been in SKL for years. I have been in Elite Command for several months now, and I can say with 100% certainty that none of the decisions that has been made in SKL has ever been Uber insisting something needs to happen. He is not the tyrant. He is not a dictator. He has never made a decision against the vote of Elite Command, and before him, I'm pretty sure Castar was also seen as a very fair overmind / outfit lead. They are not someone who the outfit leaders are not someone who can just make whatever choice they want to make and it just happens. Uber drives everything, he directs everything, but he does not make the sole decision in everything. We have had plenty of conversations in Elite Command where he has had to, go against the way he wants to go, or has had to argue his case to all of us. Like, it's not. He is not the ruler of the roost. He is, but he isn't. If you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying. I don't really have anything more to add. For simplicity purposes, I would just say that outfit leaders are super Cerebrates. To where Cerebrates are over certain departments of SKL, the outfit leader is over all of the department heads. Simple, easy. Any questions? Or comments?
Yes, I'm conscripting all of you to make sure you take over Uber's Lounge whenever you're on Discord. You cannot resist. You are now conscripted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Prozan, I would like to add a few things to that final one there, because I feel like quite a few people really don't have the chance to get any sort of connection to the outfit leads, and this can somewhat lead to a few people don't exactly understanding like what their role is in the community. So I'm going to clarify to you guys, because it's such a limited number that we have, so I can speak to you guys in more specific details. Sokaar is just Sokaar. There's no explaining Sokaar. He is like the leader of SKL at its core. Like, he created SKL. In its essence, SKL evolved from what Sokaar set out to do all those years ago. And we still carry to a large extent, like a lot of the things that Sokaar was well known for doing, like the public leading, the openness, just the general tone of the outfit is still what Sokaar meant it to be all those years ago, with the only difference being that we are now much more well structured, and we have systems in place, and we deal with things with a little bit more seriousness than when Sokaar was around, because he is just a chill guy. Sokaar was just chill, and he liked his things just like he liked his platoon meetings. He was just a cool guy to hang around with, and now we have a bit more of seriousness around. So Sokaar, by the time he was starting to slow down in PlanetSide 2, And by the time he realized the outfit was turning into something bigger and something, that he would need help managing, he placed Castar as his right-hand man in the outfit lead position. And Castar was someone with a much more deeper systematic approach to the outfit. He wanted to see things improving. He wanted us to have more standards and just better ways to deal with a large scale outfit that we have. And he tried to find ways to improve the outfit, being the person to literally kind of shift the tone once again from each being less of a chill thing where we really don't care all that much about chain of command or anything of the sort, to more of a serious outfit where people really are participating in a way that's productive to the outfit in general. So Castar was the one to bring in that change. But then once again, just like Sokaar before him, Castar also started to be MIA. Like he started to deal with a lot of stuff in real life, and he wasn't around for some of the major decisions that were happening. And then at that time, and this is not his fault. This is not to bother anyone or anything of the sort. But we just needed a more present figure to kind of take on a little bit more responsibility. So we, at the time, the Abathurs, appointed Uber as an outfit lead. We gathered together and we voted and said, yeah, Uber, if he can, he's going to take up the position. He's going to serve as like the pillar of guidelines for morals and all that sort of stuff. Whenever we need a final saying in any matter, we want to have him up there. And we brought that discussion up with Castar and everybody else, and we just made that decision. So to speak in broad terms, and this is my personal vision, is somewhat, I would say, one of the most accurate ways to look at it. The outfit leads that we have right now are the people who set the tone for the outfit and the people who have the final saying in any sort of major decision. And to give you guys like a few examples here, we have a rail platoon that's coming up with charity. That is like a major event that's going to impact not only us, but the planet side community in general. The final saying in how we're going to go about that is going to be by Uber and Castar. We have talked before about making merch for SKL. That is also another major decision for our community. The final saying is going to be with Uber and Castar. They are not necessarily around for the majority of the things. They are not actively leading the outfit in any major way. But whenever something comes up that needs to be decided, they're the ones going to be setting the tone for the decisions and also making them in a broader way. So don't expect the outfit leads to be necessarily out there leading stuff or being very present in the community. But anytime we have a major discussion going around, the final saying is going to be from them. But yeah, as Prozan said, it is not like a dictatorship in any way. It's not like they're forcing their opinions on top of the rest of the elite command. It's just that we go to them whenever we have something major to discuss. They are people that we trust to go to and say, okay, Uber, this is going on. What do we do? And that's kind of the weight that they hold.
Yeah, and there's not a ton of bookkeeping involved at the higher levels of command either. There are plenty of things that I have determined are not an emergency that I have just done without asking Uber or the rest of Elite Command. Like, at some point, we're trusted to kind of make decisions on things regarding events or like for example, the Academy Summits that we've done 2 of so far, like mid-month events. I ran the idea of doing like a mid-month like pseudo town hall by Elite Command like months ago, but when I actually decided to do the Academy Summits, I didn't ask permission. I just scheduled them and did them. So like it's not like we have to like report to Uber or report to the rest of Elite Command over every little thing. It's just these systems are in place to keep the community and the outfits stable. Yeah, like what Mike said, one team, one vision, one purpose. Now, I'm going to finish up. Well, we're going to go ahead and stop right around 9, but I just kind of wanted to finish up to provide some of you all with maybe something that you've been wanting from this, some context. I just want to tell you like how I came up in SKL. If anyone wants to share their story, they're free to. I've been in Sokaar's Legion for about 2.5 years, maybe 3 years at this point. I was in the outfit for about a year and a half, like very casually. Like I was effectively just any of the random Legionnaires that you all see in your platoons. I was just that. I would get on, I would play in an SKL platoon casually as a Legionnaire. I usually wouldn't talk. I would just kind of run and gun and, just do whatever the PL decided. A year ago, almost exactly, I decided to talk more and I became a Brood Lord late November. And I was a Brood Lord under Orbi and Kasami's tutelage throughout the month of December going into January. And I made Swarm Lord late January, early February, I believe. So I'm fudging the times here. But I'm just trying to give you an idea of like the timestamps for some of this stuff. I was a Swarm Lord for a couple of months and helped do some trainings when Orbi took a break. And whenever I made Abathur, after a couple of months, they asked me if I wanted to help form the Officer Academy. And we formed the Officer Academy about 6-7 months ago, and it's been going great. A lot of you all are in it, and I hope you've been enjoying yourselves. And after a couple of months of the Officer Academy doing pretty solid, and me kind of helping take over Tayashi's job when he went on hiatus, got me the Cerebrate promotion. So, and they told me verbatim, like, because you kind of stepped up and did Tayashi's job without us asking you to do it, you're getting the Cerebrate promotion. And that was really nice of them. But all of that's happened in just a year. Like it's not, Elite Command is not filled with people that have just been best friends in Elite Command for years. Like all of this has happened in a year. And this is something I was going to save for the December town hall, but I'll go ahead and say it to the people here. I think, in my personal biased opinion, that the past year has been like a golden age for SKL. I think that the academies have really helped kind of tighten our play, tighten the community up. I think the Officer Academy, not to toot my own horn, has really helped bring a lot of new blood into the Legion, inform new people, kind of help make friends. Before the Officer Academy, people that wanted to rise up in SKL basically just had to be noticed. And like Orbi and Kasami like did the best work they could with just like a 2 or 3 person team. But they basically were just catching people as they could. And before the Officer Academy existed, there wasn't a place in the Discord for it. There wasn't a form to fill out. There wasn't a mentor system. There weren't regular trainings like that. And I think the Officer Academy has really helped get people that are interested in leadership and interested in helping in the community up into SKL quicker and in larger numbers than ever before, which is why I feel like this year has been like a golden age for SKL. I feel like it's been a pleasure to meet a lot of the people that I've met along the way. A lot of you all are great. Working with a lot of you all as far as just teaching you how to play this video game has been a very pleasant experience for me, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I think it's been great, and I hope you all have been enjoying your stay as much as I have been enjoying it. And I'm 1 minute over, so unless anyone has any comments or wants to tell their story, we can go ahead and just end it here. I feel like we've covered over all levels of command, described the ranks as well as we could, and gave little anecdotes and answered questions. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask, either in voice or in no mic, but otherwise I think we've covered pretty much everything.
Yep, Prozan, I just quickly wanted to add there to your final little story there by the end, that as Prozan said, the system for trying to get more people to really join the community in a broader sense, to the, as officers, have never been there. And it really started with me and Kasami trying to run trainings to try to find more people interested in participating in the community, just like Prozan did, way back when. And when me and Kasami started doing it, we got surprised because instead of having single squads of people that wanted to platoon lead and maybe wanted to start assisting in the outfit a little bit more, we started getting full platoons. And these, whenever we started doing these, me and Kasami really went over everything. Like we didn't have any structured trainings. We just sit there for like 5 hours and gave a monologue about every single thing, from, practical skills in leadership all the way to the attitude conversations that we have here. Then we decided that it was a better idea to create the academy system with me, Kasami, Tayashi at the time, and Prozan was already a Swarm Lord and he got interested in doing it. But at the time it was my project, and what happened was I couldn't make it. I just had a lot of stuff going on in real life, and I basically went MIA, and Prozan just took it for himself and made like a fantastic work out of the Officer Academy. He really saw the opportunity and stepped up to the job in a sense that like we never expected. And I attribute a lot of the success that we have now just to the amazing people that we got along the way that are just willing to help in this community that we have here. People that bought into the idea that we have a nice thing going on and they want to help however they can. And we end up with what we have now. So I cannot express to you guys how thankful I am for the place that SKL is nowadays, because of the work of people like Prozan, Vox, Horace, just people that really decided that they were going to spend their time to try to make this into a better place. And it really is something else because, as Prozan said, like no one is getting anything for this. It really is like a thankless job. All you get is really the sentiments from your peers in here. You don't get anything else. So having that be enough for a lot of people is really, something special. And I'm very thankful to you all, especially to the people that have come and to the people that are now climbing up the chains of command once again. So.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better. All right. If no one has anything else, we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. Any of you Broodlord or Hive Lords that have time and want to meet one-on-one, feel free to dip down to the wait